Let's hit the field.
It is Monday, June 30th, and the Yankees were north of the border to take on the Blue Jays in Game 1 of a 4-game set. Carlos Rodon on the mound and Jazz Chisholm trying to stay hot with the lumber. My recap and your reactions. Plus, we got Aiden here to talk Statcast. Coming up next on Pinstripe Territory.
Just wanted to talk, that's all.
How's it going, everybody? That was certainly a tough one for the Yankees. They fall 5-4, and I was hoping for big things from them in this series because they've got to start playing better against the American League East. We had a tough day from Anthony Volpe, obviously. Fernando Cruz got placed on the injured list. Second time this year he's been on the injured list. And that's going to be a big one because it's coming at a time when the bullpen is already gassed. They've been pitching in a lot of tight games because the Yankees' offense has not been scoring enough. And look, Volpe's got to play better. He's just got to play better. We had that weird bunt from Jazz Chisholm, who's been the hottest hitter on the team, and then he bunts one right back to the pitcher. Not sure I would agree with that right now. Now, I know a lot of people are fans of the bunt, but one, you never want to bunt right back to the pitcher. Maybe he was trying to bunt for a hit. Even then, I mean, you've been swinging such a hot bat. I mean, just swing it. Carlos Rodon was okay today, didn't get deep into the game. This was as much as he's labored in recent memory. 96 pitches, I believe, in 5 innings plus 1 batter. He had 3 walks. So just not a good night overall for the Yankees. But let's go ahead and get to the recap, and then we'll recap Carlos Rodon as well. And then we'll have Aiden on, and we're going to go through some Statcast stuff tonight, get our minds off of another tough Yankees loss.
Let's go. Let's get it going.
And I got to say, the comments here, there's a lot of people just getting tired of Anthony Volpe. And look, I get it. It's totally frustrating. He's got to play better. I mean, there's no solution other than he has got to do it himself. There's no magic wand we can wave. Trading him doesn't help because, I mean, who are you going to get that's better, right? I mean, you could play Peraza there, but he can't hit. So it's on Volpe. It is 100% on Volpe. So anyway, both teams were quiet early. Really nice over-the-shoulder catch by Trent Grisham in center field in the second inning. Grisham also got the first hit for the Yankees today, but he had to leave the game with hamstring tightness. Jason Dominguez came in for him. So Jason Dominguez didn't even play the whole game, didn't even start, and he got 2 hits. The kid should be playing every day. Maybe this little hamstring tightness is the baseball god's way of saying to Aaron Boone, hey, let's stop screwing around with Jason Dominguez's development and just let him play every single day. Just let him play. Anyway, you hope that Grisham is okay, but, I was not disappointed to see Dominguez get a few more at-bats. DJ LeMahieu looked terrible again today. He was 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts. He's down to 239. JC Escarra starting because Austin Wells is out with some circulation issues in his hand. He was 0 for 3, but he did throw out his first career runner. Judge got walked a couple of times. But other than that, the Yankees' offense was just bad. Stanton did have an RBI single. You had Volpe throw a ball away that he had no business even attempting a throw on. It was just a tough night. Jazz Chisholm, home run number 14. He is the lone bright spot recently. And we had a comment on the pregame show, the voicemail show, which you should listen to. It was a good episode, where it was about the energy that he brings to the team. And yes, the energy is fantastic when he's playing well, but energy alone doesn't win you baseball games, right? I mean, this team has got to just play better fundamental baseball. We got to start hitting with runners in scoring position. Got to pitch better out of the bullpen. Mark Leiter was absolutely terrible tonight. He gave up 3 earned runs. Carlos Rodon actually left with a lead, and we'll talk about him in a second, but this one was on the bullpen and the lack of hitting and just some strange head-scratcher plays. Yankees lose. Alex says, Volpe doesn't hit either, but Peraza would definitely be an upgrade. I disagree with that because Peraza doesn't hit anywhere near as much as Volpe does. And we'll talk about that with Aiden. But Volpe's hitting 229, 723 OPS. I think Peraza's hitting about 170 or 160 at best right now. So neither one of them is a good option right now. Volpe really struggling on both sides of the ball. And it's sad to see. It really is. We had such high hopes for this kid, and he just continues to struggle. And you can see him getting kind of the brunt of the fan base's, I guess, anger thrown at him. I don't want to say hate. That's too strong of a word. But I was on Foul Territory about a week ago, and Scott Braun asked me, who's public enemy number one right now? And, I said, well, Aaron Boone is pretty much always public enemy number one, but you have to think of Anthony Volpe as drawing the most ire from the fans right now. The only way for him to get out of it is to just start playing better, start performing. So let's talk a little bit about Carlos Rodon. Oh, yeah, by the way, Bellinger went deep, too. He hooked a down and away breaking ball for a home run. I forgot to mention that. But anyway, Rodon, he was effective today, but he wasn't as efficient. Through 96 pitches, only faced one batter in the 6th inning. Left a runner on second base that came in to score. So his final line was 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts. He gets a no decision. He left in a position where he could have picked up his 10th win yet again. I don't know how many no decisions he's got. He's got a lot of decisions. He's got 14 decisions already. But I feel like he could easily have 11 wins if the Yankees offense would pick him up and if the Yankees bullpen would get it done in some key spots. I thought he was laboring tonight. You could tell that he was sweating way, way more than usual. And he sweats a lot anyway. But he was just laboring out there. I don't know, maybe it was the heat, but they're in a dome, right? So, hey, it is what it is. Yankees got to start playing better with this loss. They are now 48-36. They are 1 game up on the Rays in the American League East. Rays currently trailing the Athletics 6-4 in the bottom of the 9th inning. So it may be a situation, no blood lost there. But the Blue Jays are coming up on you too. The Blue Jays are just 2 games back now. They've been playing better. Red Sox 7 games back. They're under 500. I'm honestly not too worried about the Red Sox. I don't think that they're going to be a major threat, especially now that they traded Rafael Devers. But, okay. Quick announcement. We now have a regular sponsor that's going to be on a few games per week, and we're going to have a new segment on Thursdays from this sponsor. It's a really, really good thing for the show. I'm sure not everybody's going to utilize this service, but if you're one of those people who loves to have a little action riding on the game, they're definitely my favorite service to use and the one that I use the most, and that is Draftkings. Welcome to the show. So quick word from Draftkings, and I'll be back, and we're going to talk Statcast with Aiden Bechamp back in just about 60 seconds.
Nothing says summer like long days, clutch plays, and firing off a few bets on the game, all with DraftKings Sportsbook. Never bet on baseball before? It's easy. Pick a guy to go yard, hammer some live odds mid-game, or just ride with your squad and hope for the best. Here's something special for first-timers. New DraftKings customers bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code FOUL. That's code FOUL, F-O-U-L, for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Okay, here we are with Aiden. Aiden, we got a couple of comments that I want to get your opinion on. Dante says, Volpe isn't a Gold Glove winner. He only won because the real Gold Glove winner was arrested. First of all, good comment. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do not. I disagree. We've seen a lot of shaky moments from Volpe this year, a lot of bonehead plays and kind of just like you throw your hands up, like how did you make that play? But statistically, he is a good fielder. He does have a fair share of errors this year, but last year he won the Gold Glove because he has a great amount of range and he gets that ball to first base very quickly.
Dude, you look like you've been hitting the gym. You're looking kind of jacked there. You've been in the gym a little bit?
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, just graduated, so I got a lot more time to spend in the gym, and it's feeling really, really good.
Nice, nice. Yeah, working out's great, man. I've been working out since I was about 18, and yeah, it's just it's a good way to blow off steam after the Yankees play a game like this. Let me tell you that. So you are kind of my most knowledgeable Statcast friend. I mean, you understand the analytics way better than I do. As an old man, I gave up after exit velo. You know, I'm just starting to get the hang of like launch angle, sweet spot, and a few other things like that. But we have been singing Ben Rice's praises for as long as I've known you, and I loved his swing from day one. You loved his metrics. He had the results last year. Obviously, he made me shave my head. I wish he would do that again. But he has been exceptionally unlucky, not only this year, but last year too. So I'm going to put up his StatCast numbers real quick, and I want you to kind of walk us through, what you see from him, and then we can discuss, why we think he's been unlucky.
I think there's a lot of things that go into bad luck, and it's a lot of things that you just really can't explain. Is it his launch angle? Is he pulling the ball too much? Is he not spraying enough? Should he pull the ball more? It's really a question that's really difficult to answer, and I think it's beyond my humble expertise. I wouldn't even call it expertise of StatCast and some advanced metrics, but the bottom line is that this guy hits the ball very, very hard, and sometimes you just hit it right at him, and he seems to hit it right at him all the time. Now, I think his luck has gotten significantly worse in the past month, but at the same time, he seems to be whiffing a little bit more and striking out a little bit more as well.
Yeah. So I'm going to read off some super chats here because we got the StatCast stuff on the screen. The 610 Stig talking about Volpe says he had 15 errors in his Gold Glove season. He's never been great at short. He has range, but that doesn't help you with no arm. I do agree that his arm kind of sucks, but I do think he gets rid of the ball pretty well. But he's just got to play better. I mean, it's the only way he's going to make this quiet down. And then Jonathan Awad says, Lasagna was fine and has been consistently good at getting out of bad situations. Leiter has been consistently good at putting us in bad situations. I've never been a big Leiter fan. What do you think of Leiter? Are you a Leiter guy?
I've had a lot of friends and family complain about Mark Leiter Jr., and I've been trying to preach that this guy is a pretty good pitcher and he has great stuff. His location sometimes is a little bit iffy, and I think he gets put into some pretty bad situations. But as of late, he hasn't really looked himself, I guess. And, the defense behind him isn't exactly helping, but overall, I think he's a good pitcher, and he's been getting a lot of flack this year despite being actually pretty good. But I do understand people's qualms with him so far. And
I think I just don't trust him.
Really bad night.
I just don't trust him.
I guess that's it too. I'm not sure.
I think it's the goatee. I think it's the goatee, man. I don't trust anybody with a goatee like that. You know what I mean?
Just go stash. Just go with the stash, and I feel like just go with the Yankees theme, and maybe he'll start playing better, and fans will like him more.
I have a theory that Ben Rice is just his launch angle is a little bit too low. Even though it says like launch angle sweet spot, if you go back and look at it, it says that he's elite. It says that he's in the 74th percentile. But I something about the way he hits the ball, like I feel like if he had 2 extra degrees in launch angle, he'd have 22 home runs instead of 14. You know what I mean? Because how many balls does he hit like right to the warning track that get caught? He hit one tonight that was absolutely scorched that got caught. Higher launch angle, that ball's probably over the fence. That's how hard he hit the ball. So anyway, it's just my theory. Austin Wells, let's talk about him because he's another guy that we were both very high on coming out of spring training. I don't think there's any way to put this gently. He hadn't been that good. He just hasn't been that. He hasn't been what we expected.
No, he's been having a really rough last couple of months, especially in June. His average exit velocity is dropping. His hard hit rate's dropping. His barrel percentage has taken a huge drop. And, at the beginning of the season, he was kind of hot and cold. He was playing really well. And he was hitting into a lot of bad luck. And that's why we're giving him the benefit of the doubt. But, yeah, he just hasn't been good lately. I wonder if it's just a little bit of fatigue, but he gets a fair share of days off. It's hard to explain. I don't think it's really just luck anymore. He doesn't look that good at the plate, but again, we know he's a capable major league hitter. He played well last year. He seemed okay through the first month or two this year, but definitely hasn't looked that great. But behind the plate as a catcher, I think he's been pretty good defensively. He can't really catch runner stealing, but he's got five framing runs, and he's a good blocker too. That was one of his biggest questions when he was coming up to the majors: is he going to be able to block? And he's been, just fine, just about average blocking, and his framing is really what brings a lot of value to the team right now.
What are your thoughts on Wells as a trade chip? Because we do have Rice who can hit. We got him blocked at first base and at DH right now. I kind of don't want to trade Wells. I kind of want to hang on to him and then let Rice take over at first base. But what do you say to all the people in the chat that are saying, well, maybe we should consider Wells as a trade chip?
I think, it's an intriguing idea, and Yankees fans always have intriguing trade ideas and who they want to trade, who they want to acquire. But, Wells is still, kind of a developing major league player. He just got here. So I think you got to give him a little more time before you just ship him off somewhere, because who knows, maybe you ship him off somewhere and he finds it again. And he's the hitter that he was last year and through the first month or two of the season. So I wouldn't trade him. I really like Austin Wells, and I think that he's going to be a very, very solid catcher for the Yankees for at least the next 4 to 5 years.
I agree. So Jason Dominguez had 2 hits tonight. I want to talk about Jason. The last time you were on, you mentioned that you were a little bit disappointed in his exit velocity, and at that point it was about 87, 88 miles an hour. Well, looky what we have here. It's up to 90. So he's raised it over the last couple of months. I think he's looked better from the right side. He had that 3 home run game. He had a base hit from the right side tonight that it could have been called an error, but I think he would have beat it out. And the average is hanging in there around 250, the OBP at 335, the OPS at 722. I mean, not amazing numbers, but I think he's been solid. What are you seeing from him in the data?
I mean, yeah, his exit velocity has definitely gone up, and you see his hard hit rate has gone up as well. He's also walking a lot too. I really have started to enjoy a lot of his at bats. He has some really, really egregious chases sometimes, but you can see him work the count when he's patient enough. And I think that, like, with that patience, he's walking a lot. He's walking at an 11.5% clip. So he's really seeming to develop into a hitter. And with that exit velocity, taking an uptick, I think, we're starting to see him like on the come up. It feels like he's right there. He's just close to breaking out. He did have a bit of a rough June, but I think he's really, really close.
Peter says he has 6 homers and 3 came in one game. He also hit a couple of balls left-handed to left center at Yankee Stadium that would have been home runs in like 25 ballparks or something like that. So it's a little bit deceptive. I think the power will come just because he's so strong. You know what I mean? And as he gets better, don't forget, this kid's 22 years old. He is, he's a baby, right? And I think that in the second half, I think you're going to see the power numbers kind of tick up a little bit as he becomes more comfortable, especially from the right side. I think he'll probably run into at least a couple of more home runs from the right side. And from the left side, as arms tire and, we start to see more hanging breaking balls and the weather heats up. I mean, look, it's June, right? I mean, for Christ's sake, tomorrow's the 4th of July. That's a Jaws line. Anyway, tomorrow is July. And we're starting to see 100-degree temperatures, and it's going to be like this for a couple of months. That means balls travel further. That means that pitchers tire out a little bit faster. He's young. He should have all that energy to, and he's from Mars. He should be gaining from the Earth's, proximity to the sun here. I think he's going to have a good second half. Do you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I know some of your viewers are, in the New York metropolitan area, and it's been hot here. Last week was unbearable. It's super, super humid, and that humidity means the ball is going to travel. I do think he has looked a little bit better from the right-handed side, but I think he might have to consider going lefty full-time because he's hitting 276 from the left-handed side, and he's hitting 192 from the right-handed side. So he has looked better, but I would like to see him improve more on the right-handed side.
I did notice that a lot of times he's keeping both hands on the bat on the right side, like on his follow through. Remember, he was like pretty much all helicopter for a while there. I wonder if that's just an adjustment, because it seems to me that the problem is his bat path, right? He swings over balls, right? So if you throw him a down and in breaking ball, he's got the same problem that Peraza has on almost every pitch, which is that he kind of tops it, kind of swings down on it. And you really want to get on a plane where, like, I try to explain to people, the pitcher's throwing kind of downhill, right? The pitcher's throwing downhill. You want your swing to be slightly upward, right? You want to be on the same plane as the pitch. And if you're kind of like coming downwards, you've got a very small window in which to make contact, right? Or to make good contact. So that's why you want to adjust the bat path to match the pitcher. And it's difficult because every pitcher throws at a slightly different angle. I mean, that's why hitting is the toughest thing to do in sports. So, all right, last person that I want to get to is a pitcher that I have been immensely surprised with how well he's done. But he's on pace for over 200 strikeouts this year. And that is Will Warren, who is 5-4 and is quickly gaining my trust. He's got a 4.37 ERA, and like I said, 103 strikeouts in just 80 and a third innings. The whip is a little high, but some of that I think has come like in bunches. Like he's had some innings where he gave up like 3 walks, 2 hits. Like he's had, for the most part, he's been really, really solid, Aiden. He's been really solid. What are you seeing from him in the numbers?
Yeah, especially this June, he's been really, really good. He's running a 2.86 ERA this month with a 2.42 FIP. He's just a big swing and miss guy. And his issue, since he's come up to the major leagues, we've been complaining about it since last year. It's just his command. It seems like, when the ball's coming out of his hand, sometimes he doesn't know where it's going. But what makes him so effective is just his stuff, really. His fastball has been really, really unbelievable. And then he's got that wipeout sweeper as well. And when you pair that with, he has a pretty diverse pitch mix. And, Matt Blake has really been working on that pitch mix with him, doing the correct usage. And I really do think it's just that sweeper too. And that sweeper has always been really, really nasty. I think hitters have gotten a hold of it a little bit so far this year, but I still think it's going to be an effective pitch for him going forward.
And he's got room to improve. I mean, the late movement on his fastball is nice too. I mean, he gets a lot of swings and misses. Let's talk a little bit about Volpe. I know we weren't going to bring him up, but we're getting a lot of chatter in the comments about him. I like that the chase percentage has gone down, but if you look at him as a player, he's pretty underwhelming in terms of the Statcast numbers. What stands out to you?
It's the lack of exit velocity. That's always been the issue with him for me, with a lot of Yankees fans, with a lot of people who are into the Statcast advanced metrics. He just doesn't hit the ball that hard. He's a small guy. He has a little bit of a small frame, small build. So he really, if he wants to put some power into the ball, he has to overcompensate, and he kind of has to swing out of his shoes. And he has tried to do that, and it doesn't work for him. And that's why he chases and he whiffs. But it seems like he's cut back a little bit on that this year. And that's why his chase percentage has gotten better and he's walking more. But he just can't put power into the ball. And it's really frustrating to watch. He has been, for the most part this season, a pretty productive offensive player, like just about above average.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa. Whoa.
Very, very productive. Very productive.
But at the same time, it's just like the eye test too. When I watch his at-bats, like I just shake my head, and then he just always seems to end up in a big spot and he just can't come through. So I really do understand Yankees fans' frustrations. I'm a Jersey guy just like Volpe, and I love him, but it's getting frustrating to watch. And I hope he can turn it around soon.
If anybody doesn't realize, I was being facetious with that very productive. He's been quite literally league average to me. I mean, 228 with a 723 OPS. I wouldn't call that super productive. I'd call that barely staying afloat. All right. So the last thing I want to talk to you while I have you is Spencer Jones. He recently got called up to AAA. You and I have both expressed concerns to each other about his strikeout rate privately. I've made it quite clear that guys who strike out a lot in the minor leagues don't typically strike out less as they move upwards, right? You don't suddenly get to AAA and say, oh, I'm going to strike out 20% of the time when I was at 35% of the time in AA. But he's made a significant change to his batting stance. If this hot streak was not associated with a significant physical change and approach, I wouldn't be as excited about it. But the fact that he has kind of changed things wholesale, it's got me thinking, well, maybe he has put something together. What are your thoughts on him? Do you think he's for real? You think he's a trade piece? Just your opinion. Nothing Statcast related. Just
Yeah. So earlier this year, when he did change his stance, that kind of turned some heads. And now he's really playing the best baseball of his professional career. He has 18 home runs and 994 OPS on the year. He only has a few games in AAA, but he already has a couple home runs, I believe. I know he hit one in his first game, but I think he hit another last
he's
night
got
or the
two.
night before.
It was a bullet too,
Yeah.
man. It was Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
That's 15 rows deep.
And it was off of Tanner Houck, Red Sox pitcher, pitching in AAA
Yeah.
because he got sent down. Just that's kind of nice. But yeah, I think the promotion is he deserves it. He definitely does. But I was still a little surprised that they promoted him this early. And it does kind of read as, maybe he is trade bait. Maybe, they haven't wanted to move him in trades for the past couple seasons. He's kind of been their untouchable guy. But I think George Lombard Jr. has become their untouchable guy. And I think because Jones is playing so well this year, his stock has never been higher. And
Agree.
with the trade market looking so thin right now, obviously it can develop over the next month, but it looks very, very thin. He's the type of name, he's the type of prospect that gets a big deal done. So I think the Yankees are definitely kind of bringing him up to AAA to showcase him a bit for the rest of the league and show that, this is a really good prospect. He's hitting well in AAA and he's almost ready for the majors. Because if he isn't traded, if he isn't dealt at the deadline or in the offseason, I think we could see him in the majors next year. That's not crazy to say at all. And I don't think it's crazy to say that he could maybe even be competing for an opening day spot. But I really, really do think the Yankees might trade him at the deadline.
I agree with you. I think it's going to happen. I think he'll make his debut for another team. Hey, I want to thank you. I'm going to go to audience comments, but we'll have you back again soon. Always appreciate your insight, my friend.
Thank you so much, Derek. Glad to be here.
All right, let's get to some voicemails here. This first one is about the broadcast, which I think is interesting.
Just a quick rant. I get that digital advertising makes things a lot easier to, get more out there, but the background glitching out on every pitch is driving me nuts.
Thank you
I don't
so
know
much.
If it's on like the regular Yes Network or it's just coming through because I'm watching on MLB TV, but that's just so bad to watch.
Well, I was also watching on MLB TV, as I usually do. And yeah, when the backdrop is like constantly flickering and it's not good around the edges as a player, it's so distracting. It drives me absolutely nuts. I want to give you a round of applause there. Just terrible. They got to fix that. It's almost as bad as that camera they have in Texas, which is like 900 miles away from home plate. You need binoculars to watch it on TV. Let's call about Volpe.
Hey, Derek. It looks like the bullpen blew this one. Volpe he's becoming a liability out there. His defense has been iffy. And especially in the last 3 weeks, he's really been brutal in killing us and his offense.
Yeah, and his offense has not been great either. Look, he's just got to get better. The only way to be good at something is to be bad at it first, right? And right now he's playing pretty bad. Got a call here from Willie.
I'm telling you, ain't too much you can do for a shortstop. But I would play Peraza instead of Volpe. At least you have better defense. You're not losing anything on the offense because neither one of them can hit.
Well, Peraza really can't hit. Peraza is hitting 157 this year with a 233 on-base percentage. That is not his batting average. That's his on-base percentage, a 506 OPS. He's been awful. And he's had 121 at-bats. It's not a small sample size. He's gotten a chance. He just can't hit at all. But I agree with you. Very good defender. He made a very nice play defensively yesterday. Here's Simon.
Hi, Derek. It's Simon Rosenthal calling from New Haven, Connecticut and Bella Vista. How are you? Can somebody explain to me why Boone is still manager of this team? Carlos Rodon pitches a good game, and then he goes to the bullpen. We have a lead, and the bullpen gives it right back up. What is Hal Steinbrenner so stupid for? George Steinbrenner's birthday is coming up July 4th. He's turning over in his grave watching this team choke. I know we have first place, but I don't want to lose it. Can somebody explain to me why this idiot is still the manager? We got to get him fired, Derek. This is what I want played. Thanks. Bye.
Simon fires Aaron Boone literally 25 times a year. He calls in and fires him. Look, Aaron Boone's not going anywhere. He just signed an extension. He's not going anywhere. They love Aaron Boone. And tonight, I'm not blaming that one on him. It was Rodon was not efficient enough tonight. His pitch count was 96. He was clearly laboring. He was sweating through his jersey. Like he always sweats through his jersey, but tonight it was really, really noticeable. But I'm not going to put this one on Boone. This one is on a lot of different things. It's just a total team loss. Last call about Volpe.
Hey, Derek. Hey, everybody. Hello, kids. Let's repeat after me. Anthony Volpe is not a starter. He is an average player. And in fact, next year when Lombard comes up, he either rides the bench or he gets traded. So repeat after me. Not a starter. He's no better than actually Oswaldo Cabrera, if he played every day, probably would have better output. Goodbye.
Oswaldo Cabrera, who's injured right now, is not an option. If you mean Peraza, I doubt it. Cabrera, yeah, if Cabrera was healthy and our shortstop, I think he would have better offensive output than Anthony Volpe, 100%. I think he would do just as good defensively as well. Maybe that's something to think about. Lombard, by the way, heating up a little bit at AA, so keep an eye on that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have Frankie Baseball on tomorrow as it's a 4-game series. I like to have a couple of guests on, so we'll have Frankie, but it's going to be like a early evening. The game is at 3 o'clock, so look for us around 6 o'clock. Have dinner with us. Have dinner with me and Frankie. Frankie, if you're watching out there, we're going to have chicken right on the show is what we're going to do. So show up with your chicken wings. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you tomorrow. Tough night for the Yankees. We'll go get them tomorrow.
If you made it this far, do us a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and join our community. You can also be a part of the show by calling in at 718-899-1068. Also, part of the way that we maintain and fund all of this is through NYYDesigns.shop. Check it out now. Get all sorts of fun Yankees merch, hats, hoodies, zip-ups, beanies, mugs, you name it. We've got it. Check it out, NYYDesigns.shop. And check out Pinstripe Territory on all your favorite podcast platforms. We are the official Yankees podcast of the Foul Territory Network. We're here for post-game shows after every single game, and we're here before a lot of games to talk about the game, preview the lineup, the pitching matchups, and things like that. And we're here all off-season to talk about the latest in Yankees rumors, news, etc. Join our community. We'll see you next time.